Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be doing the second part of my top 50 favourite albums. So yeah, last time I went through number 50 through to 41. Today we're going to go number 40 through to 31. So yeah, guys, I've said in like that video, these are just kind of a kind of list of how I guess like I'm sort of feeling right now, I suppose, about like my favourite albums. So you know, like, this is a list that will always be kind of changing, like and like evolving really. Like, but I just thought like yeah, it'd be a fun thing to pull together, a mix of kind of like some classic albums here, but also some slightly more like obscure stuff like as well, but like personal favourites of mine though that I like wanted to share like with you all. So yeah, we'll just get stuck right in with this part of the list. So starting at number 40, we have got a slightly more recent album for me actually, like on like this list. Well, it's from the 21st century anyway, and it is by the new Pornographers, and the album is Twin Cinema. So the new Pornographers are a Canadian band, a bit of a kind of self-styled supergroup of like musicians who were like yeah in like various bands like in like Canada. All of them not really like that like well known. It was a bit like ironic, I suppose, themselves like calling like themselves like a supergroup. But yeah, formed in like the early 2000s. This is their album from 2005, their third album, and I think it is their absolute best. Is like the high point like of them. In terms of like the genre, I'd say. Like well, Wikipedia has them down as indie rock, power pop, post-punk revival. But I heard a lot of kind of yeah, like a bit of like like kind of like sort of like 70s art rock in here a bit, like 10cc a little bit, and then also like the subjects in here like that are very ELO like influence like as well. But as well, I think like the track there and like Sing Me Spanish Techno like has a kind of yeah like Don't Bring Me Down kind of feel to it. But then there's some stuff in here like it's a bit more kind of yeah complex and interesting, and like I really like them because they are like I mean, they have like quite like an interesting lineup. Like as I said, you've got Carl Newman, who is the main guy, like the lead like singer, like he sings about half the songs, and then like the other half like of like the songs are shared between Nico Case, who was a or well is a like kind of more of like a country singer, I think, by trade, but she does some great vocal work like on this and all of like the new Pornographers albums. And then on this album and like the early stuff, you also had contributions from a guy called Dan Berger, who's a bit more art out there. Like his songs like are like a little bit more like yeah, like slightly edgy, more like sort of like interesting different kind of songs. And this is yeah, like just like a cracking album, like all the way through here. Twin Cinema there from 2005. Next up now at number 39, we have got Peter Gabriel and his third solo album, third self-titled album, but more commonly known now as Melt. Which, yeah, like, I must say, like, I'm not a massive Peter Gabriel fan, like, overall. Like, I wouldn't class myself, like, as a big fan of his, really, because yeah, it's only really the debut album and this, like, that, like, I really, really love. But this one in particular, just really grabbed me, like, as, like, an album, like, as a sound, like, sort of, like, I think it's that combination of, like, the sound in here, which is, very ahead, like, of, like, its time. You know, this is 1980, and, you know, and, like, the songs in here are quite, yeah, like quite drum heavy. Like on here, like this is the album that that famously has no cymbals like on it, like at all, like not even like a hi-hat like or anything. Like so, it's very kind of yeah, dark and kind of earthy kind of drumming, like I suppose, like on here. But then you've then got like on top of that like some like really interesting like guitar work going on, and like some great songwriting like as well. Quite kind of like sort of paranoid, detached kind of songwriting, like which like really works for me. Things like I Don't Remember, like is like a great like example of that. And again, Peter doing like really like his character through like in like these songs, and like really sings like really well. Then you've got things like Family Snapshot, like and Through the Wire is like an absolute favourite of mine. You've got Paul Weller like guesting like on like guitar like on that one, and then you've got like the singles on here like Games Without Frontiers, which is probably not one of my favourite songs like on the album like actually, but then like other great stuff like on here like Not One of Us with this great kind of pulsating bass line on it. It's just a really unique sounding album here for me, combined with some like great interesting songs I think. Okay, next up now at number 38, we've got a debut album here. It's certainly one of my favourite debut albums going. It's the House of Love's debut album.
And the baby cried, Christine, Christine. And no words tried to stop, and no words inside.
House of Love, British kind of indie alternative band from like the late 80s, early 90s. This album came out in 1988. And they are just an absolutely fantastic group. Very, quite sort of, a bit 60s influence, kind of psychedelic, like influenced, a bit Velvet Underground-y, like in places, but then kind of like updating that sound, bringing it into like the 80s, like they were definitely one of the kind of candidate bands, like I suppose, for being the kind of the torchbearers to like the Smiths kind of thing. But it never quite happened like for like the House of Love, and they remain relatively like obscure. But this is an amazing debut album. It's all killer, no filler like on here. 10 songs. Really short, snappy album. And like really just like delivers like a real punch for me. From like whether it be from like the opening track and like Christine with this great like sort of like slightly like drony guitar like going on through it. It's absolutely fantastic. Hope, a lot more melodic, a lot more kind of gentle song, but again a song which really has a lot of kind of to and fro like in it. Amazing guitar work from Teddy Bickers there, who was only around really for this album and half like off like the next one, but his contribution on here like is absolutely like essential. Then got things like Road, which again just has interesting rhythms on it, like sort of like drumming like on like that one. Sulphur, the guitars on that are just incredible. And then probably the most well-known song on here, because I think it was recently in a Netflix TV series my girlfriend watched. I can't remember like what it was, and then it came on and I was like, that's the House of Love there, and like Love in a Car. An amazing song, really great evocative track, and just a powerful song really for me. A really like amazing debut album here by the House of Love. Would come in at number 38. Okay, next up now, number 37, we have got a classic album here, very much so, Blur and Parklife.
Says this is a lie, but it won't hurt you when you're alive.
So this record is Blur is Blur like at the absolute top like off like their game. Like their third album here, like so they'd already been going like quite a few years, and so they'd really be like honing their craft like on like kind of like the run up like really like to this album. The songs on here like are sonically interesting and lyrically really good, like things like Tracy Jacks, like just like these great kind of character studies like Damon Albarn writes. Parklife, a great song. I mean, like not one of my favourites like on like the album, but you can't deny it is a great rousing song, Parklife, like and like an absolute anthem like off like the time. But my favourites on here would be things like Bad Head, just got a great kind of like lazy kind of feel to it. Really with Blur, the start of the show for me, or certainly up there like in Blur, like is Graham Coxon and like his amazing guitar work, and like no more so than on the track like This Is a Low, like the closing track like on here. His guitar on that is just absolutely incredible, like one of my favorite guitar solos, like the solo of like This Is a Low. And then you've just got a great kind of mix on here, like of kind of ballads, like I said, Bad Hair, To the End, Clover Over Dover. That's an amazing song, like really beautiful track. And then more like energetic, like upbeat songs. Like, I mean, Blur could like really rock out, and like on tracks like Jubilee, Trouble in the Message Center, like as well, Bank Holiday, like on like this album too. So yeah, it's just chock full of great songs. Part Life here. It is my favorite Blur album. Like it's a close run thing. It's always been a close run thing for me between this and Modern Life Is Rubbish. And I guess on maybe some days like off like the week, I might give Modern Life Is Rubbish like the edge. But I just think song for song, this is a stronger album. And for me, yeah, it would make this list at number 37. Okay, let's look now at number 36. Another one which I definitely would say like is a classic album here, or certainly should be regarded as such. Echo and the Bunnymen and Ocean Rain.
'Cause man has to be his own savior. Blind sailors, imprisoned jailers, God tamers, no one to blame us. The sky is blue, my hands untied. A world that's true through our clean eyes. Just look at you with burning lips. You're living proof at my fingertips.
So this would have been Echo and the Bunnymen's, gosh, I think maybe their 4th or 5th album here. Like, they've certainly been going like a wee while up to this point. But this is their best album for me, without a shadow of a doubt. They're expanding their sound on here, so you've got like a, I think it's like a full piece orchestra like on this album, like accompanying them, and it's just a great mix. It's just a great like meeting like of styles between the elegance and the grandeur like of like the orchestra, and then like Ian McCulloch's great like interesting and slightly twisted in places like on like this album like songwriting, certainly like on tracks like Thorn of Crowns, Nocturnal Me, but then there's other great songs on here like just full of like which is some of like their most commercial material, things like Silver, Crystal Days, like should have been a single, like absolutely killer song that, and then of course The Killing Moon on this album too. And it's just a really well produced album, sounds absolutely brilliant. And yeah, like is a real like all-time classic there for me, and will come in at number 36. Okay, next up now at number 35, another very much classic album territory here. We've got The Clash and London Calling. Which again, for me, I must say, I would not consider myself a massive fan like of like The Clash, like actually, but this album is just absolutely incredible. Like, and I have tried with some of like their other albums. I've tried Combat Rock and Give 'Em Enough Rope, but none of them really do much for me. It's just, for me, this album is really where it all comes together. Like for me, like with like The Clash, I think the songs are absolutely fantastic. They've got a lot of energy like on them, and just the breadth of styles like on this album is just absolutely like incredible. Some of my favorites would be would be the likes of like Rudy Can't Fail, just this great like rousing kind of, it's not reggae, it's a bit kind of reggae ska sort of like feel that, but just an absolutely killer chorus, real kind of like a sing-along chorus. I love Lost in the Supermarket, and like some of like Mick Jones's contributions like on this album are really important, and are like for me like really important like to like The Clash like overall. Like it's that kind of like if it was all just like Joe Strummer, you would not have like anywhere near like as good like off like an album. So his contributions such as Lost in the Supermarket are fantastic. Clampdown's just a great rabble rousing track, absolutely fantastic. And then you've got other great songs like The Card Sheet with this great kind of kind of Phil Spector-esque piano. For a punk, for a band who was still considered very much kind of punk, like at this point, like at a time, I guess, when punk was probably like on like its way out, 79, punk was very much like yesterday's news. The Clash were very successful, like kind of moving beyond punk and kind of getting into well, I guess some people would say new wave, but you know, this was them moving on, showing their real breadth of like musical styles, and they could really like accomplish like anything. But for me, another favourite would be, it's a hidden track like on the album, but it's a Train in Vain. That's an absolutely great song, real kind of soulful. It feels like an old Motown standard. It's really, really good. So The Clash, London Calling, just absolutely great record. Double album, but one I think actually really works like as a double album. I think like as a single album it maybe be a little bit too all over the place, but like as a double album that kind of breadth of styles really works, and like I think gives like the songs like enough sort of breathing space kind of thing. So fantastic record here. The Clash at number 35. Again, next up now, number 34, another very much classic album. I would be shocked if anyone watching this video doesn't own a copy of this album, frankly. But it's Fleetwood Mac and Rumours. Which again, I must say, like a bit like The Clash, I wouldn't class myself like as a massive Fleetwood Mac fan, but there is no denying that this is a pretty much flawless album. I'd say the only weak one is maybe Oh Daddy, but everything else, like if you took off Oh Daddy and put Silver Springs on it, you would have a perfect 100% album, because really everything else on there like is just absolutely like fantastic. It's like Fleetwood Mac in this era anyway were just great at I think like keeping like your like attention like across like an album. You had three incredibly talented songwriters, and particularly Christy McVie, she's probably my favourite songwriter like in Fleetwood Mac, and like her contributions like on here, Don't Stop, Songbird and You Make Loving Fun are just absolutely like killer songs. And then of course you've got Lindsey Buckingham's tracks as well, like things like The Chain and like Go Your Own Way, just classic, all-time classic songs like which have very much like stood the test of time. Like if anything, this album's more popular now than like it was back then. Certainly like in like the UK, like where I don't think any of these singles were massive charting singles like in like the UK like at like the time. But you know, now this is rightfully considered like one of like the all-time like greatest albums. So yeah, Rumours there at number 34. Okay, next up now at number 33, we're going a bit more obscure now. A great Scottish band, underrated, but they're getting their due, like slowly but surely. The Blue Nile and A Walk Across the Rooftops. So Blue Nile, yeah, they are a Glasgow-based band and just absolutely evocative band, really. I guess you'd maybe call them synth pop, possibly, but there's just so much more than that. Like the songs here, like, are just so emotional, and it's the kind of it's a combination of like the music, which is just absolutely beautiful, and then Paul Buchanan's voice, who is one of the most unique and like spellbinding singers like around, like for me. Tracks like Tinseltown, In the Rain are just amazing Scottish standards, like certainly I should be considered like as such. And then probably one of my favourites as well, like is Rags to Riches. Just his vocal on that is just absolutely stunning, and the way the music is quite repetitive. Like it's quite repetitive, but it just lets the voice do the talking really, and like becomes like the centerpiece like of like the song. We've also got stuff like Stay, a bit more poppy, that one. Again, it should have been like a bigger single like than it was, Stay. And then other great songs like Easter Parade, slightly more slower, more ambient sort of tracks. very delicate. Like they really don't take they really take the time, like the Blue Nile, like on like this album, like for like the songs, and they just breathe and just have so much life, and like they're very dynamic songs, I think, like with like the Blue Nile. And yeah, it's just an absolutely fantastic record here of 1984. Okay, next up now at number 32, we have got Paul Weller's solo debut album here from 1992.
You don't know how you started or when you're gonna start. Hey, hey. The bad times and seasons say, other tears and searching, turning all your joy to play in pursuit of learning. Fire, dream, and hide away. Can escape the thunder. The mojo will have no effect as we head into tomorrow.
So this is just an absolutely amazing album, you know, coming out of like the Paul Weller's story like around this time, like, is absolutely like remarkable. You know, the Style Council like had just been dropped like by like their like label for trying to make a house album, which got like unreleased and like didn't see like the light of day like until like 10 years later. He kind of then has a few years like with like his family, and then sort of without a record contract or anything, just starts, you know, recording, writing, playing gigs again. And, you know, out of that comes this amazing album. It is one of my favourite summery albums. I love the artwork on it as well. Look at that, a great kind of gatefold spread there. And yeah, it is one of my favourite kind of, like I said, like summery albums. It's just got such a kind of positive feel good feel, this album. You know, it's a kind of guy who's maybe like had a tough time, but he's kind of like gone through it, and he's now looking to the future like with like optimism, really. So tracks on here like things like like remember how he started, about just like being in love, like a new relationship kind of thing. Like Above the Clouds is just absolutely gorgeous song. Into Tomorrow, again, it's that same theme of like looking forward to like the future. Amongst Butterflies is a really wistful song about looking back like on like your childhood kind of thing, and it's just a great mix of like material like on here, quite jazzy like in places, this album, like a lot of kind of like nice like saxophone and kind of like jazz touches like on like this album. So it's definitely a kind of like there's a definite thread between the Style Council, this album, and then the more kind of Modfather sort of dad rock stuff like he'd do like on like Stanley Road, which, don't get me wrong, like is a brilliant album, but for me, I will always have a real soft spot for the debut Paul Weller album. So yeah, that's where it will fall on my list here at number 32. Okay, last one for this video, number 31. We've got another 80s album here, and it is the Jesus and Mary Chain and Darklands. So again, I feel like I'm saying this like a lot like in like this video, but like I'm probably not a massive fan like of like the Jesus and Mary Chain. I certainly don't feel the need to be complete or have everything they ever put out. And again, I have tried like even like the more recent stuff. I just can't get into it. But just for some reason, this album just absolutely captivates me, really. They were at this point reduced down to a duo just of like the two Reed brothers, William and I forgot the other one's name now, Jim Reed. So Bobby Gillespie, who was their drummer on the debut album, he like left and formed like a band called Primal Scream, like you might have heard of, and they were just the Jesus and Mary Chain here like were just reduced like to like a duo, and so all this album is just them and essentially just drum machines, really. But it's so well done, and it's kind of like it's just got a real mood and like atmosphere like to like this album, and the songs are just they're very dense songs, like sort of like the sound is just so full on and so intense, but the songs themselves are really melodic, and I think that's the thing what's really missing with the other Jesus and Mary Chain albums is they sound good, they're noisy songs, like, but there's just not a song there, you know. Whereas on here, whether it be Darklands, whether it be Deep One Perfect Morning. Happy When It Rains is just an amazing song. Like, so like Anthemic, that one, like Happy When It Rains. April Skies, another great song, a big hit for them actually. I think it was a top 10 hit like in like the UK, like April Skies. And then like On the Wall, a more slower one, but just very well written songs, and just a real like atmospheric album here. Darklands by the Jesus and Mary Chain. Okay, so that's me there, gone through number 40 through to 31 on this list, what I'm doing off my top 50 favourite albums. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed the video. I would like to know if like what you make of like these albums, again, like the comments below, like if like the ones that like you know, or ones that you've maybe like yet to discover. So yeah, no, that'll be good. And yeah, I guess I'll see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.
Back to my